Good morning again, floorball fans, and we are here for the second game of the day, final game of the tournament for the men's national championship for Floorball Canada here. Team Ontario in the blue, moving right to left, and versus Team BC in the green, moving left to right. Your starting goaltenders are Roman Mihovic and Jonathan Regler, as looks like Cale Smith is actually absent today. So I guess that's why they split duties yesterday. Sorry? I don't think he can make it today. That's why I just noticed that myself. Our referees for this morning, still on London time apparently, are Mitch Brush and Jay Sani. Both of them are happy to be back together again, from what I can report. BC is going to start their BC Big Five. Our referees for Team Ontario this morning, still on Pierce, London time apparently. Wesley Smith Tennyson, Jay Sani, and both Frank of them are happy to be back together again, from what I can report. Back behind the desk with me this morning is Sarah Alfheim, who is now in Floorball National Championship. So congrats, Sarah. Pierce doesn't have a mic, but I'm sure she can hear me. Tennyson, and Frank are happy to be back together again, from what I can report. Back behind the desk with Pierce and Strohs is Sarah Alfheim, take the draw. Now in Floorball National Championship. So congrats, Sarah. Pierce doesn't have a mic, but I'm sure she can hear me. And both of them are happy to be back together again, from what I can report. Pierce and Strohs take the draw. Pierce doesn't have a mic, but Wesley Smith Tennyson, and both of them are happy to be back together again, from what I can report. Back behind the desk for Pierce and Strohs take the draw. What's going on? Something wrong? Okay. Sorry there, a little technical difficulties. If you didn't hear before, Team Ontario versus Team BC in the men's floorball national championship for Floorball Canada. It is now 1-0 Team Ontario, 20 seconds in. So again, the trend of the hot start off the face-off within a minute. And we have a line change for both squads. Not sure who got that. We'll wait for the PA announcement. Kostic and Vizinek, who has returned from injury. That he was actually hurt in the previous game between these two teams. Take the draw. Kostic with the win. He now has it on the half wall from Cash. Cash in front of his own net. Over to Kostic. Oh, we have some head contact, but nothing. Bork down low. Bork back to Kashino. Kashino shot in. Romanek with the save. Kostic ends up on his rear end, and it's down into the Ontario corner. Wilkinson hard in on Bowden. Cash goes across to Felix. Felix back to Bowden. The other Wilkinson, only the second time I think they've been on the floor together. Hard in on him. Hughes alone, shot save. Good pass by Bennett over to Hughes. Pizchek down low to Wilkinson. Poked away by Bowden. Koschek gets around Pizchek. He's going to be cut off by him as well. Goes far and wide. Mata goes up the wall, and it ends up going out. Free hit going to be taken by Webb. Falters there, but he goes back to McNeil, who's back on defense today with the return of Wes Tennyson. Webb, marked by Bennett and Mata. Poked away by Mata, but he still has it. Hughes is on his case, though. Webb behind his own net. Webb, in between Hughes' feet, over to Lynn. Lynn, marked by Seidelman. Bullhart over to Bennett as the Big Five make their way onto the floor for Team BC. Poked away by Alejandro, but Bennett comes away with it again. So for those of you who can't hear the broadcast, PA announcer and Pat Mahoney, that is West Tennyson for Team Ontario to get them the lead. They actually lost this game to BC 2-0, so big first goal for them. Prove they can score on Roman here, as he was a brick wall in their round-robin game. Mata controls it. He goes far to Ulrich. He can't get by Lacaire, though. Lacaire rolls by the BC captain Strolls. He has it now, though, and it's just Hunsberger as Ulrich is streaking in. He's being marked by Alejandro, who swipes at it. Suderland comes away with it. Advantage given by the back referee. Hunsberger taking advantage of that. He finds Tennyson, our goal scorer. He's going to let me know about that after the game, trust me. He goes back to Lacaire. Over to Pierce. Pierce. Back to Lacaire. Lacaire. To Julien. Lacaire. Bullhart. Up the wall, looking for Strolls. It's knocked back by Lacaire. Vizenak out here. Prudick. Tennyson into the middle for Pierce. He's going wide on Skolda. Out front for Julien, blocked by Vizenak. Julien now being marked by Gabert. Tennyson, that stop semi-blocked by Crushmall. Gabert tries to go long and it's blocked by Julien. Free hit and a full sail for both squads here. So they get some fresh legs out there. Mata gives it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson looking. Chased now by Felix. Felix on his case, cuts through the crease. Wilkinson up the wall to Hughes. Hughes throws it down low for Bennett. He's challenged by Bowden. Bowden almost comes away with it, and we're going to have a Team BC free hit. Bennett and Wilkinson once again take the free hit. Bennett out to Piszczek. His shot stopped by Regler. He kind of hits that one away with his right hand, but now it's a 3-on-2 for Team Ontario. And Felix off the post and then into the arm of Roman. I don't know how that stayed out. I thought for sure that had gone in off the goaltender. And Bork, another save, back heel by Roman. That's two incredible saves by the BC goaltender. A little bit of luck, sure, but oh my goodness. Bowden over to Koscheck. This is the most we've seen Team BC play defense in this entire tournament, having been 3-0. Oh, saved by Regler. Rebound by Hughes is also stopped. We've got some end-to-end ping-pong action happening here. Koscheck, that's gloved by Roman, but not fully, and he uses the back net to get that ball out. But it's a Team Ontario free hit. There seems to be some inside goalie union joking on happening between Jay Sawney and Roman here. Webb, shot blocked by Seidelman. As Bennett gets off to get the entire Big Five out for BC with 5 minutes and change gone here. Webb, shot off the toe of Roman. Alejandro. It's intercepted by Seidelman, and this fast pace continues. Seidelman goes across, trying to find Strolls. That hits somebody on Team Ontario's foot. And we've got a Team BC free hit. No one realizes it, and Strolls throws it into the middle, but Suderland comes back. Seidelman gets his stick on that. It's blocked by Ballhart. Ballhart being pressured by Lynn. He goes to the outside, back behind his own net. Prudick, his partner, is up on the wall here. Alejandro stops that pass. Back to Ballhart. He goes far along. Strolls, semi-unmarked, Regler, wisely slows things down and goes to McNeil. McNeil up the far wall to Alejandro. He's beaten Prudick, but he can't get around Ballhart. Prudick now gets called for a in between the legs violation as Skoda comes on for Ballhart. Webb, shot, scores! With the celly to boot. I'm pretty sure that pass came out from Lynn, but I could be wrong on that. But Webb with an absolute rocket from the point, and BC is down 2-0. Only the second time in this tournament that they've had a deficit this large. The other game was versus Team Quebec. And Team Quebec just would not go away in that one, even though it meant nothing to either team. Pierce and Vizenek for the face-off. Pierce with the semi-win. It goes to Suderland. Suderland goes wide on Gabert. That shot up and over, and Roman feels he had to try and make the play on it. That was Alejandro on the assist, not Linton. Free hit for Ontario after Roman knocked that out. Tennyson gets beat behind the wall, but it's Team Nova Scotia men on the mics here for us and on the cams. Lecaire being chased by one of the Wilkinsons. He goes far to Julien. Julien, that is deflected by Gabert. Skoda being chased down by Tennyson. Krokma over to Wilkinson. That bounces into the Team Ontario bench, and it's going to be a free hit for Team Ontario. Wilkinson. Sorry, Lecaire to Hunsberger. Far up the wall to Julien. He's marked by Mata. That pass is deflected into the middle, and somehow Bennett comes away with it. He's all alone. Shot off the far post. Ooh, that was close for Team BC. Piszczek, the high stick, and a Team Ontario free hit here as we start our line changes. Lecaire back to his partner Hunsberger. Hunsberger challenged by Bennett. And that's going to be a Team Ontario free hit. This fast-paced game is quite incredible so far, considering how slow a lot of these men's games have started. Bowden. Far side to Felix. He's challenged by Piszczek. Down low to Bowden, intercepted by Hughes. He puts it long. BC almost looks like they're killing a penalty right now. Over to Koscheck. He's marked by Bennett. Oh, Koscheck loses his handle. Bennett takes advantage and comes away with the ball. He goes behind the net to Hughes. Out in front, Wilkinson can't get the whack. And now it's back to Bullhart. He goes long to Bennett. Bennett turns. Shot blocked by Koscheck. Low to Mata. He tries to go to the middle to Wilkinson. They bang it between each other, and Regler comes away with it. Shaking his hands. He goes to Cash on the far wall here. 7.5 minutes left. Feels like only 2 minutes have been played at the pace this is going. Bowden's chip shot doesn't work. It's intercepted by Seidelman, who gives it to Ulrich. Ulrich double teamed though by Team Ontario. Koscheck now being chased down by Strohs. That's over the top. And it's going to be a Team Ontario free hit at the top of the key. McNeil over to goal scorer Webb. Webb on the wall to Suderland. Suderland into the middle. That's picked by Ulrich. He tries to go to Seidelman, but Seidelman was backpedaling, not moving forward. Over to McNeil. McNeil back to Webb. Webb. Shot on net. Saved by Roman. Knocked away by Bullhart. Lynn was all over that. Ulrich earns the free hit. And BC starts their change. Skolda. He's going to wait. Gabert. Warning from the referee about timing. Suderland. Oh, Shagir with the good back check, but it's going to be a free hit. Alejandro off the free hit from Webb. The mountains of BC stand in the way. Suderland gets a free hit. Stick infraction on Wilkinson. He goes back to Webb. Webb, long shot, high and wide. And wisely left alone by goaltender Roman. Vizenek. Back to Gabert. Over to Shagir. He's challenged by McNeil, and it ends up spinning out to Lynn. Oh, good back check by Skoda. It's in the legs of Vizenek. He throws it towards... Oh, Wilkinson hits the post. He had Regler completely beat. McNeil all over Wilkinson. Shagir steps up trying to help, and Team Ontario turns it the other way. The other Wilkinson's on the floor. Brothers playing more together today than they ever have all tournament. McNeil loses the handle, and Skolda puts it into his own bench. And we have a Team Ontario free hit. Full sail for both squads. Team BC showing some frustration on the bench. This is not their style of game for sure. Pierce, shot through, hits the wall, that is BC. Kerr beats Hughes to it. Tennyson loses it on via Piszczek. Bennett now. He goes up the middle, stopped by Kerr to Tennyson. Quickly over to Julien. He holds, back to Kerr. Kerr builds up. Shot long. Pierce wasn't quite there yet. Mata beats both the Ontario players to it. Kerr steps up on Bennett. Smith Tennyson goes back to Hunsberger. Hunsberger, shot on net, saved by Roman, but a rebound almost controlled by Kerr. Mata somehow is managing to take on almost half of Team Ontario here. Julien poked away by Piszczek, and we have a high stick from Hunsberger. And if I had Go-Go Gadget's arms, I would have caught that ball. We're joined up here by Team USA as a few of them are taking in some floorball action before they start their prep for Game 2 of the Americas qualifiers here at TMU, happening at 12:45 EST. Rudick going long for Ulrich. The BC Big Five trying to make an appearance here that get something going. Prudek being marked by Tennyson. He uncharacteristically gives it away. Pierce down low to Tennyson, who's marked by Bullhart. The ball bounces off the wall. We have a stick infraction. It's going to be free hit Team Ontario. Pierce being marked by Bullhart. Pierce fakes the pass and then shoots it on net, but it hits Seidelman in the foot. It comes out in front. Strolls knocks it away. Hunsberger beats him to the loose ball. He spins, goes by Julien, but runs into Seidelman. Seidelman springs, Strolls. He's got Ulrich. Ulrich over, wide, and over the boards. BC's first good opportunity in the last couple minutes here. We've got 5 minutes left in this first period of the gold medal final for the men's national championship for Floorball Canada. Stu Bowden taking the free hit in his own corner over to his D partner, Cash. Cash behind the net. Goes for a little bit of a jog, drops it back to Kostyk. Kostyk, last game's MVP for Team Ontario, gives away to Vizenek. Vizenek is picked by Bowden. The ball rolls and Regler collects it and says, let's try this again. Drops to Cash. Cash over to Kostyk. Kostyk in the middle to Bowden. Bowden marked by Vizenek. He's got the advantage and he completely loses control. Oh, no, that was my bad. Not advantage. He's being told to play. Shagir now loses it to Kostyk. Kostyk still being marked by Shagir. Shagir. Krokmal. Kostyk slows it down. Sorry, Kroshmal. I was corrected in my pronunciation of the name. Bowden up the middle to Felix. Poked away by Gabert, but it goes to Bork. Roman comes up with it and pauses. He goes to the corner to Gabert. Gabert up the wall to Wilkinson. Wilkinson down low to Hughes. Picked by Bowden. Lost. Kostyk. He goes into the middle of Bork, but it's behind him. He's being marked by Piszczek. Bork swings it around. It gives it to Hughes. Bennett on the streak again. He tries to give it back to Hughes. Great stick by Cash. That was a golden defensive play. Oh! And we've got a penalty here. Both referees catch one of the Wilkinson's brother. He's a repeat offender here at this weekend. 3:31 left in the first, and Team Ontario is going to have the first power play of this gold medal game. They've capitalized a few times, so we'll see if they can make Team BC pay for this infraction. Incorrect push is most likely the call. Webb over to McNeil. Webb to McNeil. Webb shot wide. Team Ontario not setting out a set power play, just rolling the next line of Sunderland, Lynn, and Alejandro with Nielsen Webb and McNeil-McKinnon on the back end. Team BC earns a free hit after that ball goes wide. Mata, Bullhart, Strolls, and Ulrich out for Team BC to kill this penalty. Ulrich trying to beat Webb to the ball. Incorrect push. Thank you to Team Nova Scotia for that call. Webb tries to go down to Alejandro, but that's picked by Prudick. Strohs tries to pressure McNeil. It doesn't work. Webb, shot through the legs. Oh, Alejandro on the rebound after Roman made the save, puts that wide. Bullhart sends it long. Webb controls it. Good use of his stick there. About a minute gone in this power play. Ball goes off a BC foot and ends up as a free hit for Team Ontario. They're going to make a change here. Sending out the Julien Pierce line with Leclerc and Hunsberger on the back end. Pierce to Leclerc, back to Pierce, shot. Loose, save, and rebound batted in by Wesley Tennyson. Number 53 wearing the goaltender's player shirt of Cale Smith. And he makes it 3-0 for Team Ontario. His second goal of the game. Power play goal. Oh. And we have another penalty here. Mitch Brush keeping control of this game, giving a penalty to number 7, Prudick, at 2:31. So it only took a minute for Team Ontario to score on the power play, and now they're right back on it. The captain Strohs comes over to get an explanation from the referees, making his case. Floorball, unlike hockey, very much follows the rule that only a captain can speak to the referees, and as we mentioned yesterday, during the qualifying game, if you don't do it right, they won't listen. Leclerc making his presence felt just in case he's needed. There seems to be an agreement between Brush and Strohs as Team BC is going to start this shorthanded. BC sends out their third line with Mata, Piszczek, Bennett, and Wilkinson, the other Wilkinson. Pierce on the face-off. Wilkinson comes away with it, tries to put it on net, hits multiple bodies. Leclerc over to his partner Hunsberger as this line that just scored stays on the floor. Pierce on the far side by the BC bench. Shot knocked away. It's a Team Ontario free hit as that went off the goaltender Roman. Julien. He drops it back to Leclerc. Hard on him is Bennett. And Mata follows suit onto Julien. Pierce is now down low with Mata all over him. His stick gets caught up in Pierce. A double team from Team BC, and we have a stick infraction. My second favorite part of floorball is all of the penalty names that they have. It's not unsportsmanlike, it's protesting. That gets a rise out of the BC bench with the announcement of the penalty. Big save by Roman. He had no idea the shot was even coming. That pass to Julien is in his feet. Otherwise, that was probably laced for the back of the net. He puts it behind the net to Pierce. Pierce up the middle. Leclerc was too far over to the far side, and he has to retreat. We've had about another minute pass here in this second power play for Team Ontario. This BC foursome has been high octane, high pressure the entire time. Wes was going to take that. Wes Tennyson, the two-time goal scorer, was going to take that free hit. And then you notice his line mates were changing. And now a mixed bag of Vizenek, Bullhart, Seidelman, and Ulrich take the power play here, or penalty kill here for Team BC. Leclerc goes far to Felix. Felix spins on Seidelman, but he's challenged by Bullhart. Felix back to Hunsberger. To Leclerc. He goes to Koscheck. He's got Bork in front. Ulrich down and away, and we've got about 30 seconds left here. Back to Koscheck. Hunsberger far to Felix. Felix to Leclerc. Leclerc to Felix. Felix to Leclerc. His shot knocked away by Vizenek. And that's poked, no, not poked away by Strohs. Hunsberger holds his ground. He's challenged by Vizenek, and we have a push. I have a feeling that was the intention there. Last minute of play here, 45 seconds left, and we're down to about 10 seconds or so, 15 left in this Ontario power play. Wilkinson ends up on the ground briefly, not sure how. Cash spins and fires over to Bowden. Cash's shot is wide. Bullhart fires it towards the bench, hoping to spring his partner, but it doesn't quite work. BC is even, but they're slow, and now it's too many men. They weren't paying attention. There's 6 on the floor. And for the 3rd straight minute, BC is back on the PK. I agree, Sarah. I don't know. You won't be able to hear what Sarah said, but she said, you can't make this stuff up. I really can't. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that, because it was 5-on-4 remaining despite the penalty being over. And then 2 BC players came flying onto the floor almost as one after the other. And with 23.7 seconds left, we have a face-off. Bench infraction, hence the face-off. Kostick trying to beat out Wilkinson, but Cash just blows through. Ball comes over to Bowden. Bowden slows things down, being marked by Bennett. Goes to his partner Cash, who brings it back to Kostick. Kostick leaves it for Cash. Cash back to Kostick. Kostick marked by Mata and Bennett. Oh, save made by Roman, and then the rebound by Bork goes just wide. Mata is being marked by Felix and Kostick, and he runs out the clock. So, after a very eventful start to the period with a lot of back and forth action, we have now had 3 consecutive penalties taken by Team BC. Ontario has only capitalized on one of them, but Team BC will be shorthanded going into the second period.
Each summer, floorball stars from around the world align with one goal: to lift the Troy Cup. 6 teams, 1 prize. This is the NAFL.
Setting up their offense deep in enemy territory. And it works! The shot attempt is good!
Driving down, it's good! It was off the wall. Connor, the pass to Linda, it's good! Fjord to Nilsson, unbelievable!
Every time. And I was on mute, ladies and gentlemen, so sorry about that. Power play should be over by now. It is. 5-on-5 here. We have an injury on the play to Seidelman. Looks like he had, and we have a free hit for Team Vancouver as Webb and Wilkinson get tied up. Wilkinson seems injured, and we're going to get a full sail here from Team BC. Oh, he's cramped up, I believe. And that's 2 injured players for Team BC. Hughes down low, out front, off of McNeil, almost went in. Regler's body was just in the way. Bennett. And we have a free hit for Team Vancouver as Team Ontario doesn't allow them anywhere to go. Wilkinson and Bennett once again take the free hit. Down low to Hughes. Webbs is able to pick that. He's been given advantage. That was a bit of over top. He bowls by Mata. Webb off of Roman. That stays in. Felix puts it in between his own legs. Challenged by Bizchek. Bizchek now has it. We've got a free hit for BC with the hand on the back. Mata up the middle. Wilkinson over to Bizchek. Bizchek. Oh, McNeil almost gave it to Hughes, who Bizchek was looking for. Bizchek cuts him off. He's looking in front. Too many sticks in the lane. Good job by Bork to back check and stop that pass. Now Koshik breaks out. He makes it around Mata. Tries to go through Wilkinson, but no dice. Webb being double teamed here by Wilkinson and Bennett. Webb has it in his feet. Trying to corral it. Bennett gets it instead. He gives it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson with a shot on net. Hughes spins. Blocked by Webb and McNeil. The hyphenated defense. Worst strike again. Back to McNeil. Oh, we have some tangled bodies and bodies on the floor here, but everybody seems no worse for wear. Seidelman with his leg taped up, back on the floor. Gets a little clap from the crowd who know what's going on. Leclerc being chased by Ulrich. Strolls on Hunsberger. Alejandro, far side. Suderlin in the front. Lynn somehow doesn't bury it. Mata almost put that in his own net. Suderlin back behind the net. Mata has it now with Lynn and Alejandro on top of him. That furious pace that we had to start the first period has picked back up here in the second. Suderlin picks the pocket of Seidelman. And so with Alejandro, he's being chased by Prudick. Prudick runs into Suderlin. And we have a Team Ontario free hit, says Mitch Brush. Ulrich finds Prudick on the far side. He's being double teamed by Suderlin and Alejandro. He goes back to his partner, Bullhart. Once again, the BC Big Five have been kept off the board here. Hunsberger now, back to his partner, Leclerc. He's chased by Vizenek. Prudick challenges Suderlin. We have a stick infraction. Suderlin. Hunsberger, that's blocked by Vizenek. He springs. Crushmall. Unfortunately, it was too far, and Leclerc grabs it. Leclerc. He goes far. Gabert manages to beat Alejandro to it. He goes up the wall, but it's picked by Leclerc. Shagir thought he had it. Suderlin being challenged by Gabert and Vizenek. Gabert with it now. He springs Vizenek off the wall, and we have a 3-on-1 for Team BC through the Krochmal, and he just can't get a full stick on it. Back in front, it's loose. Ontario knocks it away, and we have a BC free hit coming by the Ontario bench. Both teams make a quick change with 9:48 left in the second period. Wilkinson back to Bizchek, off the shin of Tennyson, and he's gone. Do we have a hat trick coming? He finds Pierce, who completely whiffs, and it's a 4-on-2 back the other way. Save made by Regler. Didn't know where it was for a second. He grabs it, and once again, we're back and forth here. It's a 4-on-3 for Team Ontario as Julien's being chased by Mata. He goes into the corner with it. Bizchek. Free hit. Taken by Pierce. Some confusion there, but Team Ontario still has the ball. Pierce fires that wide. Mata challenged by Julien. Julien. Oh, knocked in the air by Tennyson. It's called a high stick. That upward motion is probably what determined that factor. As I thought that was right about his knee. Big five back out here for Team BC. Hoping to get something going with 9 minutes and 8 seconds left in this second period. Down 3-0 to Team Ontario in this championship game. Bullhart trying to go long. Bowden picks that off. Now he's gone. Julien being marked by Ulrich. Over to Cash. He's got Strohs moving in on him. Pierce long. Roman gathers that up. He goes around Smith. Tennyson. To Strohs, who almost comes away with it, but Cash defensively is sound. He gives it away, though, to Seidelman, and once again comes up with it. He's trying to go by everybody, including his own teammate in Tennyson. Ulrich beats him to the ball, and we have a free hit for BC as that clearing attempt went off of Cash. Prudick to Bullhart off the free hit. He goes back to his partner, Prudick. He goes low to Seidelman. Seidelman. Bullhart. That shot is wide. Strohs first to it. Cash trying to use his body to keep that out of the lane. Good defensive stick by Bork as he comes flying off the bench. Team Ontario has changed their offense. And we have a free hit as the rest of Team Ontario makes the change. The hyphenated defense squad out here for Team Ontario. McNeil back to Webb. He brings it up the far side. Vizenek challenge him. Shot on net. Grabbed by Roman. He fakes the pass. Looks. And goes to Gabert. Gabert. Over to Shagir. Challenged by McNeil, and it's one. He now has position. He goes backwards. Looking for him. Loses his handle. Rushmal can't get there, though. Over to Webb. Webb to McNeil. McNeil back to Webb. He goes long to Koscheck. Koscheck puts it ahead to Felix. He throws it at Bork, and it's poked away by an almost diving Gabert, and Bork knifes that into the rafters, leading to a Vancouver free or BC free hit. Mata, Piszczek, Wilkinson, Hughes, Bennett out for Team BC. Hughes puts it ahead for Bennett. He loses it in the feet of Nielsen Webb. In between the legs, and Webb gets the free hit. He goes behind the net to his partner, McNeil. McNeil back to Webb. Webb off the wall, but Mata predicts that, runs into Koscheck. He still gets it to Bennett, though. Bennett drops it for Mata now. Mata is stripped by Koscheck. Briefly hunted down by Mata, but Koscheck decides it's time. He has plenty of time to spare with 7 minutes left in the second period. Koscheck behind the net to McNeil. McNeil being pressured by Wilkinson. Team Ontario making a change. Bennett picks off that. Rigler grabs the loose ball. That was a dangerous play there. That almost resulted in a BCE scoring opportunity. Regler to Webb. Webb through the stick of Seidelman. Alejandro runs into Mata, and that's a Team Ontario free hit. Some confusion about who that went off of. I think referee Mitch Brush deferred to his partner. Wilkinson all over Suderlin. Suderlin trying to go long to Alejandro. It's knocked away by Bullhart. Hunsberger now with it. Shot off the leg of Prudick. Strohs tries to go back into the middle. Ends up with Suderlin. He's taken down by Strohs. We have a free hit. Some chatting going on between the referees and Ontario goaltender Regler. Ulrich comes out with it now. He's stopped by Suderlin, who puts it into the middle to Seidelman. It's ahead to Strohs, but Lacaire is just too quick for him and takes that away. He's coming around the far side. He picks it up to his partner, Hunsberger. Hunsberger down to the far end. Roman looks like he was going to come out, but it bounces off the wall into his crease. He's able to grab it. He hits Seidelman in the back of the leg. Kerr, with two BC defenders on him, manages to win that ball. Regular to Hunsberger. Hunsberger back to Kerr. 5:33 left in this second period. Kerr skies it down. Knocked down by Bullhart. He's going to try and go for a run, but he runs into Kerr, who turns it over to Seidelman. He goes on the far wall for Prudek here. We haven't seen him up in the defensive zone as much as he was in the round-robin games. He's trying to come out of the corner here, but it's poked away by Seidelman. Hunsberger comes out with it, but he's being double-teamed by Prudek and Ulrich. In between the legs, and Hunsberger earns the free hit for Team Ontario. He's going to go back to his partner, Kerr. Team BC, the Big Five, start their change as Shagir and Vizinek come on. Bullhart, marked by Lynn and Seidelman. It goes off the stick of Lynn, but grabbed by Suderland. Bouncing ball, and Roman grabs that up and bounces it down. He catches Shagir on the backhand. He puts it for side. Kroshmal can't get it there before Kerr. Kerr clears it out, but Skoda puts an end to that. He goes far wall to Shagir, who bounces it down for Vizinek. Vizinek gets beat by Hunsberger, and he fires it down as all of Team Ontario goes for a change. Gabert, he's moving it up, challenged by Tennyson. He goes off the wall. Mitch Brush, very familiar with Wes Tennyson as they played against each other in FLC all the time. Tells him to stop swinging his stick like an axe. Wilkinson, Mata on the free hit. And this has happened a couple times by very experienced players, just an attempt to go to off the half wall here, and it goes out and over the boards. Bowden springs Pierce down to the far end. That's blocked by Wilkinson. Tennyson back to Cash, who goes back to Tennyson. Tennyson, marked by Pizjek, over to Bowden. He tries to go to Pierce, but it's intercepted by Wilkinson. Pizjek now, looking to spring Bennett. Takes a little too long, and that's a free hit for Pizjek. 4 minutes left, and it's still 3-0 for Team Ontario. No goals in this period so far. Team BC has been pressing much more than they were in that first period. And that ball goes out, and it's given to a BC free hit here as that went off a Team Ontario stick, who also decides to change on the free hit. Seidelman to Ulrich. He loses it to Webb. BC free hit, as Webb was a little too aggressive with that shoulder check. Back to Bullhart. His shot is long. Ulrich almost had it, but he was stripped by McNeil. Regler has to be careful here. He almost hit Prudek in the back of the head, and that could have got into his own net. The hyphen team out here. Oh, Webb gives it away. Ulrich trying to beat him to it. Ref says play on. Bullhart, that shot is wide. Bork ends up on the ground. McNeil now. He beats Prudek, but he's back on his case. McNeil into the middle. Shot blocked by Seidelman. He puts it low for Strohs, who has the inside. It's lost, though. Webb and McNeil both on him. McNeil now breaking out. Prudek on his tail. Bork makes the move. Shot blocked by Bullhart. A lot of bodies in the middle there as the bouncing ball. Strohs springs Ulrich, or Krochmal, sorry. They look a little similar sometimes, though apparently down on the floor level you can tell the difference because there's a couple inches between the two of them. Koshtek spins away from Shagir. Dishes to Bork to get by Vizinek. Bork is stopped by Gobert, who turns it over. Webb in between the legs. Webb is having quite the tournament here with some goals and assists and little dangles. But he puts that high and wide. 2:28 left in the second period. Still 3-0 Team Ontario. Skoda to Vizinek and then over to Gobert. He goes up the wall to Shagir, who leaves it for Kroshmal. He puts it into the middle. It ends up in the legs of Kerr. He didn't realize, and he puts it forward for Alejandro. but he is late to it as Gobert gets it. Vizinek gives it away to Hudson Suderlin. Suderlin. Alejandro's shot is blocked. Kerr being chased now by the speedy Shagir. Team BC almost brings the whole boards down, trying to make a line change. Haven't seen that yet this weekend. Hunsberger loses the handle. Still gets it to Alejandro, though. Alejandro takes a shot, stopped by Roman, who gathers up the rebound. Minute 40 left to go in this second period here as BC continues to press in an attempt to at least put 1 point on the board and get back in this game. Leclerc chips that into the BC bench. And a free hit for British Columbia. Wilkinson, almost a shot on net there. Low for Hughes. He goes back to Bennett, and it ends up going out off Hunsberger. Minute 30 here left in this second period. Ooh. Regler knocks that down. Hunsberger knifes it away, and Roman's going to just play second base and gather that up. Mata looking for Bennett. Almost finds him. Leclerc opens up his legs just enough to let the shot go through. Mom goal. Even I thought that was in. And Regler is told to move the ball by fellow goaltender Jay Sani. Hunsberger tried to leave it for Leclerc. That didn't quite work out. He goes to Leclerc. Leclerc puts it into the feet of Mata. Julien working the wall. Wilkinson. No one comes away with it as it bounces through by everybody's stick. Leclerc puts it into Julien's corner as he get into the last minute of play here with 40 seconds left. Julien curls out, shot saved. Mata off his body. Roman's trying to grab it. It's caught now with Pierce, and we have a Team Vancouver BC free hit as Mitch Brush calls a push. Prudick now. Down the far wall to Ulrich. Seidelman is the big five are out for Team BC. Seidelman working the wall. Given some direction here by the referees as they get a free hit. Picked by Tennyson. Ulrich. Strauss. Stu Bowden clears it, but not by Ulrich. He's got Pierce and Tennyson on him with 10 seconds left. I think we're going to see a shot here from Seidelman. Roman heads to the net as we get an extra attacker out here. 3 seconds left now. Ball comes out. Tennyson puts it into the corner wisely, and Pierce corrals it. So at the end of the second, the score remains the same as when we started, 3-0 for Team Ontario. BC showing their desperation, pulling their goalie with 10 seconds left. We now have our intermission, and we'll see you in 3.
Each summer, floorball stars from around the world align with one goal: to lift the Troy Cup. 6 teams, 1 prize. This is the NAFL.
Setting up their offense deep in enemy territory. And it works! The shot attempt is good!
Driving down, it's good! It was off the wall. Connor, the pass to Linda, it's good! Fjord to Nilsson, unbelievable!
And we're back for the final period of not only the men's national tournament, but the Floorball Canada National Championships. Despite the play of regular, Team Ontario has been sticking with their trend of substituting goalies and coming in for Team Ontario in net in the white and black outfit with the gray helmet is number 53, Cale Smith of Cambridge, Ontario. Koscheck for Ontario, and Strauss for Team BC to take the face-off here as we head into this final third period with the gold medal on the line. Koscheck with the big win, back to Cash. He goes to his partner. As expected, the pressure from BC is immediate. Bowden runs into Ulrich after being pressured by Strauss. Ulrich has the ball now and earns himself a free hit. Warnings from both referees towards Ontario about watching the push. Free hit to Seidelman, back to Bullhart. That shot blocked, ends up in the corner. Ulrich. Whipped across, locked by Koscheck, but Ulrich knocks it to Prudek. Down low, save. Two big saves by Cale, and he's up immediately looking for the outlet, but he goes the safe route instead and drops it with Cash. Koscheck now has it poked away from him by Vizinek. Loose ball. The hyphen D out here for Team Ontario. Shagir gets the advantage and is going to have a free hit out of that equation. This third period brought to you by All Canadian Floorball. If you want to know more, talk to Captain Matt Smith. In the corner now. Webb comes out with it, looking for his partner. Challenged by Vizinek. Oh, free hit. Webb. Back to McNeil. McNeil into Vizinek, but he holds on to it. Webb. Vizinek is all over this Ontario defensive pair of the hyphens. And we have a broken stick on the field. Shakir needs to get rid of it. If he had made a play with it, he possibly could have gotten a red card, as it's considered extremely dangerous play. Webb, Kearns, steps over the broken stick. I want to say BC is exclusively the donators to the stick graveyard. We have a penalty here, delayed. Only one referee with his arm up, though. And that ball is skied into the rafters by Nielsen Webb. The refs are confused here. I'm confused as to what's going on here. Shagir didn't play with it, but is it because he carried it off the field might be the call here. A congregation has formed over by the BC bench. Team Ontario coach Stu Bowden is making his way over as well, as we have some confusion about what the call is here. As I mentioned, it can be a penalty. It's being explained. Even Team Ontario coach Stu Bowden So the penalty is on BC. I'm guessing for illegal equipment. Well, we're checking the rule book here. 13:09 left in this game. As mentioned yesterday, we are on a time constraint though. It is currently 11:32 local time here in Toronto, Ontario. We have until 12 o'clock for this game to be finished. Multiple people now investigating the rules. My understanding of them, as I mentioned earlier, is that if he had made a play with it, it would be considered a dangerous play. Jasani is under the impression that it was an illegal play because he carried it off, but some clarification from Floorball Canada committee member Patrick Mahoney, and I believe I am correct in my understanding of the rules, it's if he had made a motion to play with it. All right, so we've got some clarification in the booth here. Prior to 2022, the rule was you were responsible from removing your own broken stick from the field of play. The rules, along with the head contact that we talked about with Stu Bowden yesterday and the day before, and a couple other mentions that we've had, were changed in 2022 to increase the speed and less of this type of stoppage of play in games. So now we have a face-off as no infraction. Shagir has a new stick, and we're all good. Alejandro pokes it ahead to Lynn, who puts it back to Alejandro Suderlin in the middle, and they score! Off the face-off, Suderlin finally on the board after basically being a kicker for the New York Jets. And we have a 4-0 game. Quite a different story here between BC and Ontario from yesterday. Suderlin to take the face-off against Strohs. The BC Big Five out now. With only 13 minutes left in this game, I imagine we're going to start to see some longer shifts from this group and maybe even some double shifting on other lines, as they've been the core offensive production for this BC squad, accounting for almost 90% of their goals. Ulrich into the middle, but no one's there. Suderlin, he finds Lynn, stopped by Bullhart. Creatively knocked down by Prudick, and Strohs comes away with it. Big save by Cale Smith, another save. He knocks it away somehow on his backside. And just how earlier Roman was displaying some crazy acrobatics, we see the acrobatic abilities of the young Cale Smith. LeCaire now being marked by Strohs, and Seidelman knocks it ahead to Suderlin. Between Suderlin and Tennyson, this Hudson jersey's putting up some points that might not have been gotten if the original wearer of the jersey was here. Skoda now, over to his partner Gabert, back to Skoda. He had moved early though. Tennyson all over him now. Gabert, for Skoda. Picked off by Cash. Blocked by Skoda. Shagir now. Stripped by Tennyson. Tennyson goes across to Pierce. Great defensive back check by Skoda. Crushmal ahead to Shagir. It's in the middle, but no one's there for him. Tennyson, wearing Cale Smith's jersey, goes back to Bowden. Over to Cash. It's Crushmal. He decides to hold on, waits for his teammates. Vizinek tries to bulldog his way through. Can't. And we have a free hit for Team Vancouver. Here comes that third line. Quite incredible, actually, too, that this BC squad flew all the way out from Vancouver with 15 members. Some chaos here in front of the Ontario bench, and that ball goes off of Wilkinson, and Cash is going to take his free hit. He goes far side to his partner, Bowden. He's marked by Bennett. Drop back for Cash. Apparently the defense are going to organize this here for Team Ontario. But over to Koshek. Bowden down low now. His shot is just wide. Bork is being chased by Mata. Multiple calls for it, but he runs into Wilkinson. Hughes is all over Cash. He gives it away to Bennett. Shot is wide, and Kale wisely grabs that up. He gives it over to Koshek. He gives it to Bowden, who's being chased by Hughes. Nice pass from behind the net out to Cash. Cash spins off the wall. Can't get by Pizjek, though, who gives it to Bennett. Bennett, with Cash on his back, drops for Wilkinson, blocked by Cash. That sounded like it hurt. Wilkinson, given to Bennett. He tries to throw it in the middle, but he lost the handle, and it's with Bork. Bork, over to Koshek. Felix is alone in front here, but Koshek can't get it through Pizjek. 10 minutes left here in the third and final period. The hyphen team out for defense on Team Ontario. Webb, over to Bork. He can't quite handle it, and then high sticks the ball. We have a Team Ontario free hit. And timeout called by BC. Wise decision here. They've got to get some sort of closure in this gap here in the scoreboard if they want to have an opportunity to even contend at the end of the game. So unlike we were discussing yesterday where I thought this might have been a too early of a call, this is when you need to do it if you're going to organize a comeback. Smallish crowd here behind me as fans start to trickle in for game 2 of the IFF WFC qualification game between Team Canada and Team USA. Team Canada in preparation for their game. A few of them stick handling off to the side, stretching it out, are taking in this game between Team Ontario, which has some of their reserves, and Team BC. BC ball in the corner. It's going to be on the whistle here, says referee Mitch Brush. Big 5 out here for Team BC. Ballhart goes long for Ulrich, but he's picked off by McNeil. Prudick gets it ahead. Strohs battles with Lynn. Lynn comes away with it. Suderlin. It goes over to Alejandro, but Ulrich chases him down. Seidelman runs into his own team. Suderlin. Free hit for Team Ontario. Solomon thought it should have gone the other way. Oscar. Back to Webb. He goes long in the middle to Bullhart. Wrong team. Bullhart comes streaking in, saved by Kale. He knocks that far enough away that we've got a breakout for the other Team Ontario the other way. Prudick bites on the pass, and McNeil just can't find Lynn in front of the net. Ulrich defensively sound, gets back and cuts off Lynn. Bullhart now to Prudick. Prudick behind his own net as the second line here for Team BC makes an appearance. Up the middle to Bennett now. Wilkinson tries to poke that back in the middle. Hughes comes away with it. He goes to Wilkinson. Wilkinson shot, and Kale calmly, coolly, and collectively just heads that into the corner. Free hit for Team BC as, once again, Wilkinson-Bennett combo starts this off. Back behind the net for Hughes. Hughes behind the net to Wilkinson. That gets knifed into the corner, and it's a Team BC ball. Hughes and Wilkinson this time on the free hit. Pierce posts up in front. The ball comes back to Mata, to Bennett. Bennett goes over to Mata. Blocked by Julien. Team Ontario's all in now. McHale down low. Somehow comes up with it and finds Frank on the half wall, who slows it down by going back to McNeil. Doesn't have much time though, as Bennett's all over him. Hughes in on Bennett, or Webb, sorry. Bennett is his teammate, and Frank goes long for Wes. Tennyson now with the ball, makes a move on Piszczek, throws it out in front, almost off the heel of Wilkinson into the back of the net. Webb, he goes back to Lecaire. Lecaire, 8 minutes left now, goes to Webb. Webb in the middle to Pierce. He knifes it, blocked by Mata. Lecaire over to Frank. He's got some time and space. He's trying to find Tennyson, but don't think that worked the way they wanted that to. BC tries for the long ball, almost gets, oh, and we're going to have a penalty, I believe, yeah. Unfortunately for Hughes, his stick got caught up in the legs of a high, quick-moving Lecaire, and with 7:55 left in this game, BC takes their 5th penalty after only taking 2 in the entire tournament and going 3-0. 5:55 will be the get-out-of-jail-free time. I imagine that if BC can survive this Ontario power play, that we will see a 6-man press come from the bench here if they can weather this storm. Lecaire, chased by Shagir. Probably the 2 fastest players on the floor right now, trying to test their speed. Hunsberger with it. Over to Bork, who after that first game has been fairly quiet scoreboard-wise. Roman comes flying out, knocks a stick away from his own player in an attempt to get the ball out of the way. He's successful in doing so, and we have a BC free hit. 20 seconds gone in this BC power play. Over to Gobert. He goes off the wall. Lecaire corrals that down. Has a look. Goes to Bork. Bork. Over to Hunsberger. Low to Kostick. Back to Hunsberger. Lecaire. He goes over to Kostick, but it misses him just a bit. And now he's being double teamed by Bullhart and Wilkinson. Wilkinson loses his stick, and Hunsberger makes him pay. Power play goal for Team Ontario. And we have a 5-0 lead as Hunsberger scores on the assist from Kostick. BC already using their timeout. We'll have to make this up on the fly for the remaining 7:06 here. As mentioned before, my commentating with Stu, 7 minutes is enough time to get 5 goals if BC can turn this thing around. They just need 1, and then the floodgates might be open. Suderland wins the draw. The big line out here, big 5 out here for Team BC. Ulrich goes in the bar, it's funny with Cash, and immediately comes off. Bennett's out on the floor for him. Maybe this will help them out, who knows. Prudick tries to find Bennett. It's a little far behind him. Bennett, back to Prudick. He finds Bullhart. Prudick. Also of note, one of the Wilkinson's brother, who was injured earlier in the second period, has not returned. His leg has been wrapped by the medical staff. Seidelman has it roll off his stick, and we've got 3 Ontario players coming back, though. Stu, whoa, that was close. Bennett wins the ball away, gets it from Strohs. Strohs puts it out in front. Kale wraps that up. Alejandro gets by Prudick, but isn't fast enough to beat Bullhart to it. Bullhart loses it to Suderland. Suderland has it bounce in front. Wilkinson with the block. Suderland puts it in the net. Bouncing ball somehow manages to make its way through, and he just taps that in, and unfortunately for Roman, he was out of position there on the bouncing ball. Pierce on the draw, wins it by Wilkinson, but it's picked up by Piszczek. Piszczek Streaking down the far side, another shot in the face by Kale, and he just eats it. Like the Cookie Monster. His check off of Webb, and we have a Vancouver free hit. Wilkinson swings into the middle. Shot, rebound, save! And this collective effort by the Ontario goalies has been nothing short of spectacular. Kale picking up where Regler left off. Pierce. For the first time all weekend, some confusion between the referees here. Mata. Oh, and we have a penalty coming up for team on BC. Mata spits it ahead to Bennett. He's being double teamed here. Spins, gets it over to Hughes. That's out. Skoda wins the ball. Hughes check over to his partner Mata. He's challenged by Julien. And it might work out in Team Ontario's favor here as McNeil touches the ball. Tennyson. 2 minutes. Or I'm assuming obstruction. And this might just be the opportunity that BC needs. Down 6-0. All right, apparently we're ready to go now. Tennyson in the box. Straws to take the free hit. Oh, whistle. Mitch Brush, a comedian. He'll be here all night. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. And a round of applause for Team BC correctly making the free hit. Time of the penalty was 4:57. 2:57 is a get out of jail free card for Mr. Tennyson. Prudick now down low. Hunsberger on it. He beats Ulrich to the ball, but it's back to Seidelman. Seidelman over to Bullhart. Bullhart has it come off his stick. He manages to keep it in, but it's a high stick. And so Ontario lucks out with the free hit. 20 seconds gone in this BC power play. Ulrich not even thinking about defense, just looking to cover the pass back. Koscheck down there all by his lonesome. 4 BC players all delayed. And it's BC ball. Prudick. Over to Seidelman. Back to Prudick. Prudick. Down to Strauss. Strauss over to Seidelman into the front. Knocked away by Hunsberger. Bork now with it. He knocks it away. All the way down for Bullhart. With 4:15 left, we'll keep an eye out and see if Roman hits the bench. Ulrich. Down to Bullhart. Bullhart. Stop. Prudick. He leaves it for Seidelman. Back to Prudick. He goes back to Seidelman. Good movement here by Team BC. Ulrich to Seidelman to Bullhart. Blocked. Strauss all over Lacaire. Koscheck beats Bullhart to the ball. And Prudick dumps Koscheck into the boards. Over the bench. It's a little dangerous with that brick wall right there. The free hit was supposed to be given to BC. I don't know if that's changed. It hasn't. Shagir on the ball. He goes back to Skoda. Gobert. Shot off save by Kale. Trushmall behind. Beaten by Cash. Ends up with Bowden off the wall. Big save by Smith as he comes out on Vizinek. Alejandro and Oscar working for it. And Sunderland beat to the ball by Skoda. He came all the way across from the far side. And we've got about 25, 30 seconds left here. Shagir tries to go through Cash. That doesn't work in his favor. Cash comes down the far side. Saved by Roman, but then he doesn't know where it is. And Shagir, free hit for in BC. Tennyson getting instructions from the bench. He's going to make the long change. Power play is over for Team BC. Unable to capitalize on the man advantage. Then it goes to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, shot through, blocked by Suderlin. Cash now in the corner. He's got Hughes and Piszczek on him. And Bennett now. Somehow Cash comes out of the corner with it. Beats Mata. Alejandro coming down the far side, puts it into the chest of Roman. Rebound, puts wide. He unfortunately, in his attempt to keep it in, kicks it out. 2:32. Ontario leading BC 6-0. Hughes tries to go through Bowden, doesn't work. Knocked down by Pierce. Mata back in for Hughes. Hughes tries to put it into the middle and hits Mata in the foot. We have another breakout for Team Ontario here as this offensively minded team BC is playing way less defense, but they don't really have a choice. Bowden with the ball. Picked up by Webb. Webb tries to go up the middle, runs into Wilkinson. Bennett earns a free hit for Team BC with the deflection. BC, the long change before the free hit here. Sends out the big five. Once again, it wouldn't surprise me if this is their final shift as they put as much effort and concentration into getting some points on the board here. We're officially under 2 minutes left and a free hit for Team Ontario. Long ball for Tennyson is stopped by Bullhart. He puts it into the middle. Strohs puts it wide. Smith finds Pierce. He's cut off by Seidelman though. Strohs all the way over to Prudick. That shot is high and wide. More wide than high. 139. Julien telling Webb, take it easy. Team Ontario now just trying to keep this in control. Seidelman, little tap to Cale Smith for his efforts today. Seidelman into the middle. Ulrich reaching for it. McNeil, he's on Ulrich. In front, Webb almost directs that into his own net. And we've got a Team Ontario free hit. Webb right on top of it. Minute 14 left. He sends it back to the other hyphenated defenseman, McNeil. Over to Kostek. He's being marked by Ulrich. Ulrich. Now over to Webb. Vizenek. Webb. Shot on goal. Rebound. Cleared by Gabert. McNeil. Looking for some space. Goes back to his partner Webb. Shot. Oh! Rebound is put high and wide by Felix. As we enter the final minute of play with 51.5 seconds left. Free hit for Team BC. Skoda tried to go to Shagir. Picked off by Kostek. Kostek into the middle. Roman grabs that up. Looks like he's going to spring Shagir. A little too far ahead of him, and Leclerc. Once again, the foot race between these two has been incredible. Felix goes backwards and gives it away. Vizenek to Piszczek. Piszczek, that's wide. Other side. Oh, what a save by... How did he do that? Smith on the back end somehow came over. Hunsberger clears it. Gobert just trying to get a stick on it, and with 20 seconds left, we got a 3-on-1 for Team Ontario. Shot into Roman's legs. He's going to try one last time to spring his man Shagir, but it's just too far. Hunsberger down to Felix, and with 10 seconds left, he holds. Puts it into the corner. And we have a Team Vancouver free hit. Gobert might get a violation, time violation here. Over to Piszczek, down to Vizenek. And with that, Team Ontario is your Floorball Canada National Championship. And between Cale Smith and John Regler, we have a combined shutout. It's an absolute insane effort from both teams. And with that, the Floorball Canada Nationals comes to an end. Team Ontario winning the gold in the men's division, and Team Ontario winning the gold in the women's division. The hometown provinces taking home both trophies. And as the teams get ready to line up for the presentation of the championship trophy and MVPs, we're going to take a quick second here to thank everybody for coming out, all the teams, the organizers, our technical committee led by Sarah Alfheim here, who's done a fantastic job making sure that you all can watch the games, as well as all of our volunteers and fans. Thank you. And to Toronto Metropolitan University for being an excellent host. And now we're going to go down to the Secretariat for the presentation of the awards.
Player of the game for TBC is number 98, Adam Shagur. Player of the game for Team Ontario, number 86, Oscar Soderman.
Okay.
So next up, we're going to do some presentations of the team MVPs of the tournament. So for TBC, number 71, Andre Seidelman. And for Team Ontario, number 28, Matt Kostic. Oh, and the goalie of the tournament, number 53, Cale Smith. And finally, can we have Justin LePere come up to get the trophy for Team Ontario?
Stay in it, Cash.
And now we ask that both teams shake hands, and then we'll have some team photos, please.